receive the attack and press down to make space for a strike to the jaw. I follow up with a joint lock to the elbow in order to bring my training partner Juho forward. And finally, I apply a guillotine choke. I block and strike simultaneously. Then I slap the groin and I do an arm drag to get behind Juho's back. From there, I apply a rear naked choke. I receive the attack and press down while moving to the outside of the arm. As soon as possible I strike the jaw, then press down with my right hand to open up for a second strike. Finally, I kick Juho's leg and apply a joint lock to the wrist in order to take him down. I immediately move to the outside of the strike. While keeping the pressure just above Juho's elbow, I use a side kick to attack Juho's leg. If his left leg is forward, I can kick it directly with my right. If his right leg is in front, I use the lifting of my leg as a knee strike to the inside of Juho's thigh before kicking his knee. Please be careful with this application in order to avoid injuries. The first sequence can be applied at any point during the inward half circle motion between being up on the outside and down on the inside, while having contact with the same side hand. In other words, it doesn't matter if the attack is to the upper level, the middle level, or the lower level. The same technique can still be applied. The second sequence can be applied at any point during the outward half circle motion between being down on the outside and up on the inside, still in contact with the same side hand. Again, we see that sequence 2 can be applied regardless of the level of the attack. Sequence 3 can be applied at any point during the inward half circle motion between being up on the inside and down on the outside, but now while in contact across. That is, left to left or right to right. The level of the attack doesn't really matter. Finally, sequence 4 can be applied at any point during the outward half circle motion between being down on the inside and up on the outside, while in contact across. Again, the level of the attack is secondary, but depending on the starting position of your hands, you might instinctively involve both hands in order to parry the attack. Next, we're starting to put the techniques into a more mobile context. From the so-called trapping distance, we can circle our arms in different ways to mimic certain motions that commonly occur in this fighting range. The first sequence is best applied when circling the arms inwards, alternating left and right. The second sequence can easily be applied when changing direction and circling the arms outwards. The arms can also circle simultaneously, first inwards, which will give you possibilities to apply sequence 3. And finally, when circling both arms outwards at the same time, sequence 4 can be applied. The next step is to start moving around freely. We'll play a game where we start with our hands connected. Juho is trying to touch the top of my head or grab my belt, thus simulating attacks to the upper or lower section. My task is to keep him at bay, preferably without grabbing his wrists, and every now and then execute applications, for example the ones presented in this video. This exercise can be made more challenging by adding destructive kicks to the legs or to the groin. Having both practitioners trying to touch the head or grab the belt makes for a fun variation. Kaizen means constant and never-ending improvement. It's been a work in progress that started with the first Kaizen kata, which was based on my first hand positioning drill. This kata was later simplified into the Kaizen Sho kata. Based on my second hand positioning drill, I made the second and most complex of the Kaizen kata. This one is for advanced students only, as it contains grappling moves as well as joint locks and strangulations that are rather hard to visualize while performing the kata. The techniques in this video, and thus the lessons culminated in the Kaizen Dai kata, are the most important ones from both Kaizen 1 and Kaizen 2. The kata is short and compact, but as you hopefully can see in this video presentation, it can be applied to negotiate many different habitual acts of physical violence.